Welcome to part 3 of my list of CDs to get this Christmas holiday. Really, any Christmas holiday. This video is going to focus mainly on Bob Dylan. So let's get started. This is the Times They Are A-Changin' by Bob Dylan. Great album. Pretty much all the songs on here are masterpieces. This is the first edition to CD. It sounds very thin, and you really have to turn up the volume with this one. Unfortunately, at the time, I could not find the remaster, but I'll get it eventually. I think it only comes in digipack, unfortunately. So, and it might be in a 5.1 mix. I know they mixed some of these, some of the 2004 remasters to CD in 5.1. They're put on, I think they're put on Super Audio CDs. Yeah, which I don't have a player for, but you know, that's fine. I don't really care to hear Bob Dylan's music in surround. I hear it sounds really good, but I just can't do it because I can't afford a player. But no, great album to get. I recommend any Bob Dylan fan get it. It's one of his early albums, came out in I think 62 or 63. I'm really not up to date on his albums anymore. I used to be, but you know, like Dylan said, the times they are a-changin', and things have changed. Next is Blood on the Tracks. This is a much later album. I do have nearly every Dylan album, most of his early stuff, but this Spiegel edition comes from Germany. I was actually not able to find this album in a regular edition in the Dallas-Fort Worth area at the time. It's a little more prominent now to find in Best Buy and all that stuff, and for some reason I couldn't find it. But another great album. There's a few cover songs in here. The first two tracks, Tangled Up in Blue and Simple Twist of Fate, are pretty much the best tracks on here. Pretty much everyone on here is good except for number 4. I just can't really get into that track. I don't know why. But around this time, Dylan was going through a divorce, so the songs are not, it's not all happy stuff. And Dylan was not known to put out, you know, happy-go-lucky stuff until the later years, which is his last couple albums were more relaxed and blues-like. His voice has gotten gravelly, so he sounds like an old bluesman to me. I think you get a poster in here as well. I don't particularly remember, but here's the album without the slipcase. Came out in 1974, maybe 75. He went on to tour in 75, which has been documented. Oh, wrong one. Bob Dylan Live 1964. This is the official bootleg series. This is volume 6. I don't have volume 1 through 3 yet on official CD. Plan on getting those someday. These come with excellent booklets and amazing live performances with Bob, and some songs are sang with Joan Baez in them. This started back in like 1991. This series was started, and the first 3 volumes were released together, which is kind of strange. I think at that time they were trying to thwart bootleggers, but the damage had already been done. But this live performance is excellent. All his hits are played, and some I think there might be a couple of old Christian tunes or church songs on here. I've already done a review of this, and I will start putting links to my Amazon reviews so you can look at them there. I did have a lot of reviews on there of CDs and movies and stuff. I'll put a link up to that in the description, but yeah. Bob Dylan Live 1966. This came out in 1998. What? Well, I'm just doing these in the order that of the year on the cover, but this is volume 4. Blistering set. I mean, this sounds great coming out of the 90s. I mean, it sounds like a brand new concert, really. It has a lot of punch to it. another live set. I think it was I think this is all from one show. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. This is the famous Jonas live show where someone yelled out Jonas. I know it doesn't have anything to do with the Jonas Brothers because they weren't even around at this time, guys. They weren't even born. But it comes with another great booklet. Very interesting photos from that time. Most are black and white. And someone in the liner notes, I forget who talks about it, they went on tour with Dylan and talked, and I think it might just be a fan. So a lot of these liner notes are done by fans in this booklet. But it comes out under the Columbia Legacy label, which a lot of older record companies have this label. Moving onward to Bob Dylan Live 1975. This was another excellent booklet. This came out in 2002. This was next in the series. Yes, right. Anyways, by this time Dylan started actually really changing up his songs. Each time he performed them, someone went on the record to say that he never plays the same song the same way. It's always done differently, and that's what makes his live shows interesting. Back in the 60s, I think he pretty much, early 60s, he pretty much played all of his songs pretty much the same live, you know, like he would. Just wanted them to sound like the record pretty much. And that gets kind of stale after a while. I noticed Metallica does that. They just play what's on their record the way it was. They don't really change it up much because they're afraid the fan is going to diss them for that. But hey, if you're the artist, just play it the way you want to. Be Bob Dylan. Don't give a fuck. This one has another excellent booklet in it, some photos from that period. When he was on the road, the story goes that Dylan actually wanted to go out on tour in a train. On this tour, for some reason it didn't happen. The band actually ended up, all the bands that were on the tour got in like 2 Winnebagos and went around the country and performed. I believe I think for that particular tour, Dylan only toured in the U.S. In the Winnebagos. I don't think they had those over in Europe. But yeah, pick this up. These are a little expensive, but you get your money's worth. There's all these have 2 discs, except for the volumes 1 through 3. That's 3 discs. Now the last one in the series that I actually have is the No Direction Home soundtrack, volume 7, in the bootleg series. All these tracks are pretty much taken from the movie, only they're in full form here. You get to listen to the entire track. The only problem is with When I Got Troubles is actually taken from a bad, very degraded tape. When you listen to it on the movie, you actually get to hear it, the first generation copy of it, or the original master copy. I believe it was recorded on a small cassette recorder, reel-to-reel recorder, which are hard to find now. But there's a few home recordings, some old demos of some of the songs that actually sound better than the final takes. Some live songs in here. It's all pretty much a look back at a lot of good things that didn't come out on CD originally. Some of these songs did make their way to bootleg vinyl and I think on some singles, but a lot of it wasn't included. Interesting album, great booklet, very informative booklet. I think I've already showed all the packaging for these, so no reason to show them again. Of course, the videos for these particular albums are severely buried in my channel. You can still find them though, pretty easily. I did them last December, I think, so yeah. That wraps it up for part 3, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Just don't ask anything I've already covered in the video. If you have some new facts or something I didn't cover, you can actually feel free to put it in the comment section. I'll leave it up so other Bob Dylan fans can be informed. So thanks for watching, and have a good one.